All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, time of this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Now, this lesson is going into, the Lord is having America isolate itself in the earth, man. The Lord is having America isolate itself from the rest of the nations, man. And these nations, really, the Lord is putting the spirit in these nations to basically hate America, man. All right, because you see how Trump is moving in the earth, concerning these nations and America's own interest and this and that. The Lord is having these nations basically despise America. All right, because we understand America is what? Mystery Babylon the great city, the great whore, which the Lord will destroy in these last days by the way of fire and what? In this third world war. The Lord is going to have these nations destroy America. This is why the Lord has, all right, Esau, all right, moving the way he moving in the earth. That's why the scriptures say the king's heart, because people think Trump doing this. This really the power of Yahweh Shema Shai. The scriptures say the king's heart, his mind, is in the hand of the Lord. He turneth it whithersoever he will, man. The Lord has this devil moving the way he moving, man. So these other nations can despise and hate America, man. All right. So let me get this TikTok real quick. Play this. Danish politician Rasmus Jarlov has a message for the United States over their possible annexation of Greenland, man. Because we understand Trump, this man just been throwing out threats to these nations, man. And concerning Greenland, basically, this devil is putting himself against the EU, the European Union, man, and NATO. But see, this is biblical prophecy, man, because we understand that America's own allies, all right, the so-called European Union, okay, are going to aid in America's destruction. So the Lord is setting the stage for this, man. All right, this devil talking about he want Greenland, now they're bumping heads with Denmark. And, so even when you look at the comment board, it says realistically, it's not just 57,000 people. Speaking of the Greenland people, it says it's all of NATO, man. All right. This devil trying to get Greenland, he's going against all NATO. All right. Which if you go into NATO, that's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, basically America allied with these European nations, man. All right. But see, that division is happening. These EU nations is starting to despise America, starting to hate America, which this is biblical prophecy, which, we're going to get the scriptures. But
We're
let's
not just going to
play
hand
this
over
from the
Greenland.
beginning.
If someone thinks that the Americans can just do this quietly and they can just send in a boat and send us a note that now Greenland is theirs, that's not going to happen. We're not going to just hand over 57,000 Danish citizens, and it would be a war. And I'm not saying this to stomp our chest, because we are well aware of the size difference between us and the United States. We're well aware that they could just, kill all of us. But we're just hoping that's not the kind of country that they want to be. We're not just.
All right, so Khan, man, he said there'll be a war. All right, if Trump, America think they could just come and take Greenland and just be like, it's ours now, that ain't finna happen. All right, it's gonna be a war, man. Okay, so you see the beast, all right, are bumping heads. All right, Esau and these America, Babylon the Great, and these other Edomite counterpart nations, man. Okay, the European Union. All right. But the Lord is causing this, man, to fulfill biblical prophecy, man, because these same EU nations, they're going to aid in the destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great in these last days, man. All right. So once again, he's saying there's going to be a war. And you got the comment saying how realistically, it's not just 57,000 people. It's all of NATO, man. All right. Which we understand NATO is the beast. Okay. All right. But now going back to this article, it says a U.S. takeover of Greenland would mark the end of NATO, Danish Prime Minister says, man. Because this devil, it says Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said Monday an American takeover of Greenland would amount to the end of the NATO military alliance. Her comments came in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's renewed call for the strategic mineral-rich Arctic island to come under U.S. control in the aftermath of the weekend military operation in Venezuela, man. All right? Because this devil is basically threatening the nations. Esau pumped their pride. You got these devils saying, yeah, America got to remind them who's the boss and this and that, man. You see, so these nations, they're beginning to despise America, man. You know, which really, they really was already despising America, man. But we understand the Lord is stirring up, all right, these nations, okay, all right, their spirit to oppose America, Babylon the Great, man. All right, so let's go and get the precepts. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, which this is the prophet Daniel. All right, he received visions of these kingdoms that will rule upon the earth, these kingdoms of the heathen, beginning with the Syro-Babylonian Empire, then the Medo-Persian Empire, then the Greek Empire, then the fourth kingdom, the fourth beast, being the Roman Empire, man. All right. Now, what we live in today is the revived Roman Empire. Yeah, Rome fell, all right, but Rome would come back in these last days in the form of America, NATO, and the EU. America being Mystery Babylon the Great, man. But see, we're seeing the end of this beast in real time, all right? We're seeing the end of this devil's kingdom in real time. We're seeing the fall of this devil kingdom in real time, man. All right? The decline of this devil's kingdom in real time. All right? So this is Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. It says, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. This fourth beast with 10 horns represents the Roman Empire, man. Now, the 10 horns, when you go into the ancient 10 horns, you had the Herules, the Vandals, the Visigoths, the Suevi, the Anglo-Saxon, such and so forth, all right? But see, those 10 horns will come back today as what? The European Union. Which the European Union, what succeeded what was known as the EEC, which stands for the European Economic Community, which was established under what? The Treaty of Rome, because this would be Rome coming back in the earth. Yeah, Rome fell, but Rome would come back in the form of America, NATO, and the EU. America being Mystery Babylon the Great. All right, now when you keep on reading, it says what? I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. And this little horn is speaking of America, man. All right? Mystery Babylon the Great. Because America is an extension of Rome. All right? America comes of these horns, man. All right? Because we understand that America was through what? The British Empire, man. All right? The 13 British colonies. That's where America came from. All right? It says, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. Which is going into what? The Spanish, the British, and the French. Those 3 main European powers that were on the soils of North America. The Spanish, which where you get, Spanish Florida. The French, that's where you get the Louisiana Purchase. All right. The British, that's where you get the 13 British colonies, man. You see, in which America will be born out of, man. Babylon the Great. All right. This is that little horn. It says, behold, in this horn were the eyes like the eyes of men, and a mouth speaking great things, proud, boastful, blasphemies, man. And that's the spirit of America, to be pompous, to be proud, to be prideful. Okay? And Trump, he's the embodiment of America, man. And the Lord is using this devil to usher in prophecy. All right? So let's drop down real quick. I want to drop down. At verse 19, it says, then I will know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, breaking pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, which is speaking of America. And before whom 3 fell, the Spanish, the British, and the French, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, blasphemies, whose look was more stout than his fellows, man. All right. And when you get the definition of fellow, all right, your fellow basically goes into your partner. All right. Your companion. Okay. It says, me see. Companion, friend, comrade, colleague, partner, associate. Okay, because those EU nations are supposed to be America's allies. It's fellows, man. All right, but the scriptures say America, Babylon the Great, this little horn has a look more stout than this fellow, more proud, more boastful, more pompous look. All right, than the rest of these EU, these Edomite counterpart nations, man. And you can see it. All right. You got these devils saying, oh, we got to show the world America who they must have forgot that America is the boss. We got to show them who really runs this earth and this and that. These devils are proud. These Babylonians, these Americans, they're proud, man. All right. But see, the Lord is allowing this so these nations can despise America, man. Okay. Which the scripture is going to go into. It's going to go into because let's go back. Let's jump up real quick. Let's go up to a couple of verses. Because how is this fourth beast supposed to go out? All right. This fourth beast, the end of Esau is going to be through this. All right. This end we're in today. The destruction of America. Mystery Babylon the Great, man. All right. Verse 11. It says, I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame, man. All right. See, this didn't happen to ancient pagan Rome. All right. Yes, Rome fell, but Rome didn't go out like this. That's because this is to take place in these last days. During this revived Roman Empire, Rome would come back, beginning at what? The Renaissance, which the word Renaissance means what? Revival, resurgence, rebirth. That spirit of Greco-Rome coming back into the earth, Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man, coming back into power. All right. And it will lead to America, Babylon the Great being birthed in the earth. This little horn, man. And see, and this is how the end is going to come. All right. This great fiery destruction. Okay. So this takes me to the book of Revelation chapter 17. Revelation chapter 17. I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And this scarlet-colored beast, having 7 heads and 10 horns, represent what? The fourth beast, the fourth kingdom, man. All right? Okay? You had ancient pagan Rome, but you have what? The revived Roman Empire, because when you read Revelation 12, it goes into what? The great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. And Revelation 17 is going into what? A scarlet colored beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. The scarlet goes into what? Red or crimson. So a red colored beast. But in this verse, it says a woman sitteth upon this beast, which what does the woman represent? Verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, man. All right, that's America, man. America's Mystery Babylon. The woman that sitteth upon the beast. America is the spearhead, of this beast, man. All right. Why do you think these people, when they talk about NATO, they say America is NATO? America is NATO. All right. Trump getting mad at these EU nations, and they're saying America is NATO. All right. America is the spearhead, Babylon the Great, man. All right. But see, let's drop down. Let's drop down real quick. Verse 16, Khan. It says, and the 10 horns was once again the 10 horns going into the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast. These shall hate the whore, the little horn. America, Mystery Babylon the Great. And we seeing it play out in real time, man. We seeing how the Lord is, we seeing it play out in real time. The Lord is putting the spirit into these the rulers of these nations for these things to take place, man. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He turneth the whithersoever he will. It says, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And this is going to be America's judgment in these last days. All right, this whore being burned by fire, being destroyed and by the missiles, man. All right, verse 17. For the Most High Yahweh had put in their hearts, their minds, to fulfill his will. Okay? And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled, man. And that's the point. Verse 18, and the woman, all right, the whore, which thou sawest, is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, man. All right, America, Mystery Babylon the Great. That great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, man. That's why these Babylonians feel this. Oh, we got to remind them who's the boss. You know, we got to remind them who really runs the world. That's how proud the look more stout than its fellows, man. All right. But see, this is why the scriptures say what? How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations, man? These are the times that we're in, man. All right. So we see the Lord setting up the play, man. We hear, man. You know, this devil from to bring in this digital surveillance, a monetary system, man. Cashless society, digital currency, the implementation of the mark of the beast, which is the micro CHIP. We hear, you know, we hear, man, the wars and rumors of wars, the signs in the heavens, you know, the uproars of the people, the earthquakes in diverse places. We hear, man, you know. But that's really the point. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to close it out. Get infinite praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, time of this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations.